If you've been scrolling through endless guitar lists and still aren't sure which acoustic will actually fit your bedroom practice and weekend gigs, this review is for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent a few weeks testing the Taylor Special Edition 414 CE Studio Limited Honeyburst to see if the hype matches the price, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what that looks like in real life. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have with a special edition model is the fear of paying extra for a finish or a badge that doesn't actually change the sound. Taylor markets this as a limited-run Honeyburst with a glossy finish, a spruce top, rosewood back and sides, and the ES2 pickup system. All those are solid wood elements you'd normally find on a mid-range Taylor, but the question is whether they translate into a noticeable upgrade when you plug it in or play unplugged. I set the guitar up in 3 different environments: a small home studio, a coffeehouse open mic, and a late-night jam session in a friend's garage. In each case, the tonal character stayed consistent: clear articulation on the high strings, a warm, rounded low end, and a subtle shimmer that made strummed chords feel full without drowning out finger-picking detail. The pickup didn't sound tinny or overly compressed. The ES2 captured the natural overtones pretty faithfully, which is a big win for anyone who needs to go direct to a PA or a live stream setup. Now, who should actually consider buying this thing? If you're a hobbyist who's already comfortable with a basic laminate acoustic and you're looking to step up to solid wood without breaking the bank, the 414 CE Studio hits a sweet spot. The Studio label means Taylor trimmed away some of the fancier appointments: no ebony fingerboard, no elaborate inlay, so the cost stays approachable. That makes it a solid first solid wood guitar for players who have outgrown cheap models but aren't ready to invest in a full-blown American series instrument. It's also a practical choice for gigging singer-songwriters who need a reliable, low-maintenance instrument that sounds good both unplugged and amplified. The included structured gig bag is sturdy enough to protect the finish during regular travel, which is something you'll appreciate if you're shuffling between venues. On the flip side, if you're a professional session musician who expects studio-grade articulation, or a collector chasing the rarest Taylor finishes, this might not be the best fit. The neck profile, while described as slender, is essentially the standard Taylor neck that many players find comfortable, but it doesn't offer the ultra-thin feel of the neck or the vintage neck you'd see on higher-priced models. If you have a very specific ergonomic need or you already own a Taylor with a different neck shape, swapping to this could feel like a step back. Likewise, the Honeyburst finish is glossy and eye-catching, but it's not the hand-painted, multi-coat masterpiece you'd find on a limited-run custom shop guitar. If visual uniqueness is a primary driver, you may want to keep looking. Let's talk about the practical strengths that showed up during my testing. The spruce top gave the guitar a quick response, so when I were playing fast arpeggios, the notes didn't get lost in the sustain. That's something beginners often struggle with on cheaper instruments. The strings just feel dead after a few chords. The rosewood back and sides added a depth that made the lower frequencies feel richer, which is especially noticeable when you're playing in a small room without a PA. The ES2 pickup system, paired with the built-in preamp controls, allowed me to dial in a balanced sound without having to tweak a separate external EQ. I could push the volume up for a small crowd, and the guitar didn't start to feedback or sound thin, something I've seen happen with cheaper onboard pickups. Where the guitar fell short, it was mostly in the details that matter only to a niche audience. The Honeyburst gloss, while attractive, is a high-gloss finish that can show fingerprints and smudges more readily than a satin or matte coat. If you're the type who likes to play in a sweaty rehearsal space, you might find yourself constantly wiping down the body. The hardware bridge pins, tuning machines are functional but not upgraded to the jeweled or locking variants you see on premium models. In a heavy touring scenario, you might have to replace those components sooner than you would on a higher-priced instrument. Finally, the gig bag is robust, but it's not a hard case. If you're traveling by air or need extreme protection, you'll want to invest in a hardshell case separately. One thing I noticed that often gets missed in spec sheets is how the guitar sits when you're playing standing up with a strap. The weight distribution feels balanced, the neck doesn't pull the instrument forward, so the strap sits comfortably on the shoulder. That's a small but real comfort factor for anyone who does a lot of standing gigs. The neck shape also allows easy access to the 12th fret, which makes soloing and